Most people only think about air traffic controllers when they're sitting in an airplane seat waiting for takeoff. The engines are running, passengers are buckled in, and the aircraft seems ready to move at any moment, but nothing happens yet. What many travelers don't realize is that behind every safe takeoff and landing is an entire network of coordination happening both on the ground and in the sky. At the center of that system are air traffic controllers. Air traffic controllers are responsible for managing the movement of thousands of aircraft every single day. Their job is to keep planes safely separated, guide pilots through complex airspace, coordinate arrivals and departures, and maintain an organized flow of traffic through some of the busiest skies in the world. It's a career that demands intense concentration, rapid decision-making, and precise communication. A single mistake could have serious consequences, which is why air traffic control is often considered one of the most stressful and demanding professions in aviation. Today we're taking a closer look at what a typical day might look like for an air traffic controller. For many controllers, the day begins long before passengers ever arrive at the airport. Air traffic control facilities operate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Because aircraft are constantly moving across the globe, controllers work rotating schedules that can include early mornings, late nights, weekends, and holidays. A controller might begin work before sunrise one week and then switch to a late night shift the next. When they arrive at the facility, the first part of the shift typically begins with a briefing. During this briefing, controllers review the current conditions affecting their airspace. They examine weather reports, runway availability, equipment, status, and any temporary changes that could affect aircraft movement. Weather plays a particularly important role in aviation. Strong winds, thunderstorms, fog, or heavy snow can drastically change how aircraft approach an airport or travel through a region. Controllers also review what are known as notices to airmen, often called NOTAMs. These alerts inform pilots and controllers about temporary hazards or changes such as closed runways, construction areas, navigation equipment outages, or restricted airspace. After the briefing is complete, controllers prepare to take their assigned positions. Air traffic control is divided into several specialized roles, depending on where aircraft are located during their flight. Some controllers work inside airport control towers, where they oversee aircraft taxiing on the ground, taking off, and landing on the runways. Others work at radar facilities that monitor aircraft flying through larger sections of airspace between airports. Each controller is assigned responsibility for a specific section of sky known as a sector. When the shift begins, the incoming controller sits down at their workstation while the outgoing controller provides a quick update about the current traffic situation. This handoff briefing might include information about aircraft approaching the sector, weather conditions developing nearby, or any unusual situations already in progress. Once the transfer of responsibility is complete, the incoming controller takes control of that section of airspace. From the outside, an air traffic control station can look surprisingly simple. There are radar screens showing aircraft positions, communication panels used to speak with pilots, and data displays that show information such as altitude, speed, and flight identification. But behind this simple setup lies an enormous amount of information that must be constantly processed. Every aircraft moving through the sector must be tracked, monitored, and safely separated from every other aircraft nearby. On the radar screen, each plane appears as a small symbol accompanied by a data tag showing the flight number, altitude, and ground speed. In busy airspace, there may be dozens of aircraft moving through the sector at the same time. Controllers must constantly anticipate where those aircraft will be several minutes into the future. If two aircraft appear likely to come too close to each other, the controller must intervene by giving new instructions. These instructions might involve changing altitude, adjusting speed, or turning the aircraft onto a new heading. Communication between pilots and controllers follows very specific and standardized phrasing designed to eliminate confusion. A controller might say something like, Delta 276, climb and maintain flight level 330. The pilot will then repeat the instruction back to confirm it was received correctly. This process ensures that both sides clearly understand the instructions. One of the most important responsibilities of air traffic controllers is maintaining safe separation between aircraft. In controlled airspace, planes must remain a minimum distance apart both vertically and horizontally. Controllers constantly calculate how aircraft are moving relative to each other in three-dimensional space. If two planes are approaching the same area of airspace, the controller might instruct one aircraft to climb while directing another to descend. In other situations, the controller may reroute one aircraft slightly to the left or right to keep traffic flowing smoothly. Much of this work happens in the controller's mind as they mentally map the movement of aircraft through space and time. It is often compared to playing a complex game of chess, where each decision affects the next several moves. The job becomes especially intense at large international airports during peak travel hours. Major hubs can handle hundreds or even thousands of flights every day. At these airports, tower controllers coordinate a constant stream of arrivals and departures. Aircraft line up on taxiways waiting for clearance to take off, while incoming flights approach the airport from several different directions. Controllers must carefully sequence these aircraft so that each plane lands safely while keeping traffic moving efficiently. Timing is incredibly important. If aircraft land too close together, it creates a safety risk. But if they are spaced too far apart, it can create delays that ripple through the entire airport schedule. Controllers also work closely with approach controllers who guide aircraft toward the airport from surrounding airspace. As a plane gets closer to the runway, responsibility is handed off from one controller to another. This coordinated process allows aircraft to move smoothly from high-altitude cruise flight down to a safe landing. Despite the intense concentration required for the job, controllers cannot remain actively directing aircraft for long periods without breaks. The mental workload is simply too demanding. To prevent fatigue, controllers rotate positions throughout their shift. After spending time actively controlling traffic, they step away from the station while another controller takes over the sector. These breaks help controllers reset mentally before returning to their workstations. Even while resting, controllers remain aware of what is happening around them because teamwork is essential in air traffic control facilities. Unexpected situations can arise at any moment. A pilot might report severe turbulence, a thunderstorm might suddenly block a major flight route, or an aircraft might experience a mechanical problem and request an emergency landing. When these situations occur, controllers must respond quickly and calmly. They may reroute other aircraft to clear space for the emergency flight, coordinate with neighboring sectors to adjust traffic patterns, or provide pilots with alternate routes around dangerous weather. Even though these moments can be stressful, controllers are trained to remain calm and methodical. Their ability to make rapid and confident decisions is what keeps the system running safely. Technology plays a major role in modern air traffic control. Advanced radar systems track aircraft across vast regions of airspace. Computer systems can predict potential conflicts between aircraft minutes before they occur. Satellite-based navigation allows pilots to follow highly precise flight paths through crowded skies. Despite all this technology, human judgment remains essential. Controllers interpret the data, make decisions based on changing conditions, and communicate instructions clearly to pilots. The human element allows the system to adapt quickly when unexpected events occur. Becoming an air traffic controller requires extensive training and preparation. Candidates must first pass rigorous aptitude tests that measure skills such as spatial awareness, multitasking ability, memory, and decision-making under pressure. Those who qualify then undergo months or even years of training. This training includes classroom instruction, high-fidelity simulation exercises, and supervised on-the-job experience. Trainees practice managing realistic traffic scenarios in simulators before they are allowed to control real aircraft. Even after earning certification, controllers continue learning throughout their careers as technology evolves and procedures are updated. As the shift progresses, the pace of activity can rise and fall. There may be quiet periods when only a few aircraft pass through the sector, followed by sudden bursts of activity as multiple flights arrive at once. Controllers must stay alert even during calm moments because traffic patterns can change quickly. Maintaining full situational awareness is one of the most important skills in air traffic control. Controllers must always know where every aircraft is located and where it is heading next. Eventually, the shift comes to an end. Before leaving their position, controllers brief the incoming team about the current state of the airspace. They explain which aircraft are approaching the sector, any developing weather conditions, and any unusual situations that may require attention. Once the handoff is complete, the outgoing controllers step away from their stations and another team takes over. While one shift ends, the skies above never truly rest. Every day, thousands of flights take off and land across the world, carrying millions of passengers. Most travelers rarely think about the complex coordination required to make these journeys safe. But behind every successful flight is a team of highly trained professionals carefully guiding aircraft through the sky. Air traffic controllers are the unseen guardians of modern aviation. Their work requires concentration, discipline, and constant awareness of everything happening around them. And while passengers may never see them, their decisions are what allow airplanes to move safely through crowded airspace every single day. For air traffic controllers, it is not simply a job. It is a responsibility that helps keep the world connected, guiding aircraft safely.